Hi, I'm Xanklin. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about healing through trauma. For me, healing has to include humor, and sometimes people think that my humor is not appropriate. Unfortunately, some people also think that my blackness is not appropriate, but it's their problem, not mine. So this is where the story starts today. Picture suburbia. What do you get when you have a black, smart people pleaser with a dash of anxiety in suburbia? You get called nice. That's what you get. And guess what? I don't want to be nice. Maybe that's why I do stand-up comedy. So when you're a housewife in suburbia, you join the PTA at your kid's school. That's where all the nice people are. And you're nice because you bake cookies and you sell them at bake sales. But guess what? I am going to be kicked off the PTA. I'm going to be kicked off the PTA because this COVID time, I learned how to make chocolate chip edibles. But I need them. I need my edibles because this stuff is stressing me out. Not only are people getting killed everywhere for living while black, there is a disease. There's a disease where we can catch it and die, and we can't even tell if people are sick when we catch it from them. But I think this stuff makes me worried. It makes me concerned. So I have my edibles and I move on with my life. It's good. But I'm so stressed that I am starting to have nightmares. Yeah, I dreamt that I was a 1950s housewife. A 1950s housewife with the big hair, the makeup on point, the poofy skirt. I looked like a pint-sized version of RuPaul, if RuPaul voted for the Republican Party. And the worst part, I'm pushing my shopping cart through the aisle of Canadian Tire. And I'm singing. I'll leave it to you to decide if that was a nightmare or a good dream. So one person who was a fantastic housewife was my mother. And I spoke with her for the first time in 7 years. And we didn't not speak because we didn't like each other. We just didn't speak because they hadn't figured out how to install WhatsApp. Well, to be honest, I couldn't figure out how to install WhatsApp. You know, it's technology, right? So my parents spent longer. It took them a longer time to reach back and contact family who lived in the Caribbean when they moved to Canada. 14 years is how long it took. We used to do long distance phone calls. We used to write letters. So I think I'm good. You know, it gives me less things to talk to my therapist about. But if I'm being honest, I'm jealous. I'm legit jealous of families that have grandparents close by because they can pick up the phone and call them and say, Mom, Dad, can you take the kids for the weekend? There's a new flavor of pumpkin spice latte coming out. And I really need to find my center before I can go get one. You know, like, honestly, can you imagine actually drinking a pumpkin spice latte on purpose? Jeez, I don't believe that shit. But there's different families, different generations of families where you've got the grandparents living in the house and the cousins are so close to each other that they might as well be siblings. It's great. In those families, I imagine that the parents help the kids buy property, right? Buy property, pay for school. So the kid's first job isn't paying back their fucking student loan. When I think about how long it took me to pay back my student loan and how much I pay for daycare and how much everything costs, how much long distance calls cost to reach back and contact the family, I seethe. Then I cry because I realize that my kid isn't going to see any of that. Then I pull myself together. I stop crying and get my uniform on to work at my third job because I'm fucking working forever. My mom only had one job. Like I said, she was a housewife. She was like a Caribbean Martha Stewart. Yep, she was an expert cook and kept a spotless house, even with 4 kids under 5. Yeah, that's fantastic. Then there's me. My house is a petri dish. I have delivery on speed dial, and I hide a fifth of Jack in my safe space. Yeah, feminism, it works. But my mom gave us jobs. She kept us all in line. So, for example, when she was mad at us, our job was to sit there and listen as she yelled at us in patois, right? And then she would go up to the windows and she'd open up the windows and she'd start yelling in English. Because you know what they say, it takes a village to traumatize a child. My mom was also really good at giving jobs to my dad, too. I remember that she asked him to talk to us about where babies came from. And he did a really good job, considering he's a conservative, religious guy, but I had to cut him short because I was running a little bit late. So I had to pick up the phone, call my husband, and tell him that he had to pick up our son from daycare. So a little late. It took some time. So parents can be complicated, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better at this. I've spent a lot of time cleaning things, starting things, and baking things, right? This COVID, it's not even me trying to figure out when I'm going to clean myself and take a shower, when I'm going to start an argument, or when I'm going to be baked from all my cookies. Priorities, right? But one of the jobs that comes with being at home is trying to communicate to my family that Black families matter too. And Black families matter, and that's why my husband and I took our son to his very first protest. So, of course, my son was very upset. And he cried, and it hurt my husband and I to have to explain to him and remind him, really, why we were there. But we wanted him to learn that his Black life mattered and to be able to tell people that himself. So one of the great ways that I like to show my son that his Black life matters is we are a family of nerds. We are nerds. We are Black nerds. We are called blurds. And we loved when they came out with a movie, Black Panther. In our Black lives, representation matters. Seeing myself in history and in movies heals the part of me that are broken. I hope it does the same for my son. We loved the Black Panther movie. We loved it. Not only did Black lives matter, they were supercharged. I'd never seen anything like it. Strong layered characters, new feminist archetypes, a world where colonizing was irrelevant. This movie was everything Tyler Perry movies aren't. The movie had one tiny problem. What did they do with assholes? If I wrote that movie, things would be different. My Wakanda includes panther slapping. Did you buy skin whitener? You get panther slapped. You're putting raisins in your potato salad? That's a panther slap. You're listening to Drake? Well, fuck you. That's 2 panther slaps. Why don't we heal our wounds and make it better for those to come? Thank you.